We were pretty famous back in high school. Trust us!
Had a whole future ahead of us, but now we suck.
All that potential now is flowing in the aqueducts.
Through the sands of time, many did forget.
But now our time has come to resurrect. But a podcast?
Sad I know, but can you blame us?
We are desperate to be much more than high school famous. There's no guarantee that everyone who's listening to this has heard the other episodes our mystery guest has been on.
I refuse. I've been tracking all of our listeners, and I refuse to let somebody jump in midway. Like if I notice a new person, if a new person has just started listening and they start right with like episode 199, I boot them. I say, get to the back of the line, pal. You start at 1 and you work your way forward.
How's the retention going with that then? Are they following through with?
I haven't had to do it yet.
Okay. You haven't caught anyone listening.
We've had no issues. Haven't caught a single person listening yet. We are good to go.
Well, Matt, I want our students to turn their textbooks to page 202. This is the 2024, I guess maybe the unofficial American Thanksgiving episode of the show. And what could be more fitting than to have a special guest on today who, yes, he's been on the show before, but, you know, there's some things that we haven't revealed about him that I'm about to. And it's also fitting that he's from the great state of Canada, the great country of Canada.
Wow, you blew it immediately.
I didn't blow anything. All right. So our guest today was born in the lovely country of Canada, our neighbor to the north. He attended the McNally School of Music where he studied bass. He then formed a band with his mates called Seldom Seen. I'm skipping nothing here. When that disbanded, he formed another band with some other mates called Speed's the Name. When that disbanded, our guest donated blood that was later used to save the life of David Duchovny.
Oh, interesting.
He once used his car to crash a boat into a jet.
Having trouble figuring out the logistics of that, but okay.
This is why he's here. He can answer all these things about it. Yep. He used to clean for the Queen, and he now resides in Columbus, Ohio, where he keeps a log of what the quote sketchy neighbors are up to.
I don't think that's true at all. That last one.
So, please welcome our special guest, Mr. Scott McVeigh. Scott.
Hey guys. Hey. Thanks for having me back on, Sean, Matt. Good to see you again. Yeah. And happy unofficial Thanksgiving.
Right. Same to you
So I'm thankful for being back on the podcast, honestly.
Oh, great. Cool.
Cool. Only half of what you said is true. Which half? We're going to have to figure it out.
The first half of every sentence or the last half of every sentence?
Like the first couple sentences.
Well, the first one's a lie because Canada is not lovely.
Wow.
Nor is it a state.
Yeah.
I didn't. That's not what I officially read. That's just what. That's just what I stupidly said before I was referring to my notes.
Can't even read good.
Sure.
Yeah, I should take tips from you, Matt, on how to read good. Scott, fortunately, I got to spend some time with this gentleman a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
I believe it was the 4th, of November. We got to attend a little concert.
It was 2 weeks ago to yesterday. Yeah.
Hey, that's great. That wasn't in my notes. But
bad note taker.
So yes, that's why he's here. He said he made a statement at that time that he wanted to come back on the show and talk about the concert that we saw.
I did. And actually, I just wanted to make a quick note. I think I said it to you as I was, getting in my cab, just as and have me on the podcast again sometime. We'll talk about the show.
He did say that.
The thing I remember about you, because I haven't talked to you since, I was getting in the cab. It was pulling up, right there on Hennepin. And you were you had this mean mug. And I'm not sure if you were mean mugging. There was a biker that was coming along, but the car had stopped. And so I think the car had kind of gotten his way. And then, I went to get in. I think the biker had to slow down. I'm not sure, but all I remember is getting in the car, and I look at you, and you're just like.
I think I was doing that.
So I thought maybe if you wanted to start there and go back, because do you remember that? One, do you remember that? And what were you mean mugging?
I think I might know.
You think you might know what I was mean mugging?
I think what it came down to was Sean thought he could get through the entire night without you asking to be back on the show. And then you asked at the last second. He got so pissed. He's like, I almost did it. Now I have to invite this guy back on.
That is a good theory. That's actually really funny because I did say it right at the end of the night. And yeah, and then like you said, you haven't talked to him since. The rest of the time.
You haven't talked to him since then, so he's been avoiding your calls.
The funny thing is, I mean, if he remembers, during the show, during the whole night leading up to the show also, I was sweating bullets the entire time. I was nervously tapping my toe to the floor, and I just couldn't sit still. And he was like, what's wrong? And I was just super tense, and I didn't want to explain why, because that would make his feelings hurt if he has any. Yeah. And so I just sort of kept it to myself, and I was white knuckling the arms of the seat I was in the whole show. I just couldn't stand it. I'm pretty sure I wet through my adult diapers.
Yeah, you weren't even wearing them.
I wasn't. No, they were on the outside of my pants.
Yeah.
They were in a bag adjacent to you.
They were a bag in my car.
Yeah,
and I somehow still saturated them from the venue. So it was a very powerful secretion of fluids. And I thought I was in the clear.
This actually makes sense now, because I think when we first sat down to have a meal before the show, you were talking about High School Famous and how you reached a milestone of episodes and how things were going great. And then I could, now that you mentioned that, I could see how you were clenching onto your high top chair.
Yeah, because you're probably like, fuck, I shouldn't even have brought that up.
Well, now he's going to ask.
I screwed up already.
Yeah.
But I have nothing else going on in my life. This is all I have to talk about is the show.
Yeah, because improv is over. So
improv's over. I haven't done anything with the YouTube channel in months.
My kid doesn't talk to me anymore, so there's nothing going on there.
I know.
The show is taking over your life. That's good, right?
Well, if there was some sort of monetary gain for doing it, I would maybe feel better about it.
Not yet, there isn't.
But that has yet to be seen.
Yeah.
Okay.
And maybe someday I'll listen back to this episode fondly in my mansion with us laying atop my pile of money. Crypto. I'm going to lay atop my pile of crypto. Right. And I'll think back on those more humble times like this, where I thought, oh, will this show ever be anything? Mm-hmm. Will I ever be on the cover of Time magazine? Solo.
Wasted Time magazine.
Wait, what?
You couldn't make it, Matt. You were off judging a international bikini competition. So you just
doesn't sound like me.
Well, our lives by that time our lives have changed so drastically because of all of our fame and wealth. So the things that you wouldn't think of doing now are just a flash in the pan.
I feel like I would start nationally first.
I didn't say that was the first one you judged.
Oh, okay.
It's just that at the time of the shooting of the for the cover of Time magazine, you were at an international competition judging.
I feel like they could have rescheduled that photo shoot.
I insisted that they do it on the date of the competition because I knew you were busy. And so I wanted. This is when there was a lot of rumors about the show falling apart, and my head was getting a bit too big, and I'm trying to wedge you out of the show and have all the focus on me. And so I don't know if that's true, or what's really happening, or if I sort of orchestrated this to try to feed into the rumors and I go
with the orchestration. That sounds like it could be based in reality or what you've thought about that before.
Again, this is the future. It's hard to say.
If not, he's definitely thinking about it now.
Yes. And I'm kicking myself for mentioning it just as I was when I accidentally mentioned the podcast at all to Scott when I was having dinner with him before the show. So, once again, my mouth just gets me into trouble. Ladies
Oh.
No, that's not good. That is not good to say that after that.
Well, anyway. So wait, we're supposed to start backwards from the incident when you got into the car and work our way back to from unsuccessfully eating at various bars.
But no, now that we got the end out with that night there was a Timberwolves game, Matt.
Yes, there was.
Luckily we got downtown early enough, but we kind of, I think the third spot we got to, we ended up at Glick's. Which was also busy, but we were able to get in, get some food, and catch up a little bit before the show. So it was fine. But yeah, like we'll go here. And then once we realized there was a Wolves game, it was like, okay, we kept going, but then it ended perfectly because we made it. Well, I guess we strolled in a couple of minutes after 8, and they started at 8.
So I slipped the host. I slipped the host a couple of Washingtons. And they seated us early, and I'm talking. I must have missed.
I didn't see that. You did it so undercover. I didn't.
Well, I was. If you remember, I just kept flipping a quarter multiple times throughout the night. I just acted like that was my thing. Like I'm like, call it heads or tails. Let's make a game of this. And so when I got into the restaurant, I saw how busy it was. I'm like, flip, flip, flip. I gave him about 3 solid Washingtons, and I said, hey. Whatever side it's on, that's your side. You won. So how about you see me and my friend and I here, and we'll order ourselves some Sammys. Mm-hmm. And that's how we got into the restaurant. And the show,
we bookended the show at this point, Matt. You got the end, and you got before.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So we've given you the 2 pieces of bread because you're a bland motherfucker. And now we're gonna.
What's this hostility towards me all of a sudden?
I don't know.
What did I
do? You got mad at me, or you didn't text me the link. You emailed it instead. I don't know if that's what it's really about.
Yeah, it still won't send it. I'm working on it.
Well, according to you, recorded the whole episode with Scott before I even got on the show.
Yeah, I'll get you the link here at some point.
Great. I would love to be on.
Yeah.
No, the funny thing is, it was listed as a show that started at 8:00. Mm-hmm. I'll say what the show was. So, it's the tour is called Beat, and it features 2 former members of King Crimson. Scott, which one's the one that was not a King Crimson member? Was it Levin or Baloo?
No, those 2 were. It was
Vi. Okay.
Vi, I don't think it was ever in King Crimson. Okay. He's been in a million other things. I mean, the guy played with Frank Zappa, for God's sakes.
Okay. So Adrian Ballou and Tony Levin are former King and Crimson members. Mm-hmm. Steve Vai, who I knew nothing about, and Scott was very excited about because he knows some things about his history. One of those things being that he played with Frank Zappa. And then Tool's own Danny Carey on the drums. And this is a show where they quote reimagined, which I couldn't figure out exactly how, but they said they were reimagining music from the 3 80s King Crimson albums, Discipline, Beat, and 3 of a Perfect Pair. So both Scott and I were like, of the King Crimson we know, those 3 80s albums are not necessarily, are the favorites.
And I had to, sorry to interrupt, but I had to look it up. And I believe those 2 guys were on those 3, and that's why they
that would
probably
make sense,
commandeered the whole thing, and we're doing that. And Sean texted me, like, he just said, "Are you a King Crimson fan?" I was like, well, yeah, I like them, but I'm not like, there's like the fan.
Right.
And then there's like, there's not too many casual
King Crimson fans. I should have said, do you like King Crimson?
And like, I have Discipline on vinyl, and so that's why I was like, who is on? I knew like half the band, but I had to look it up myself and discovered that night. I was like, oh, okay, this makes sense why they're doing it now to me. But
so yes, he was very excited, and so it was at the State Theater, and then we didn't know if there was an opening act or not. It didn't say on the anywhere in the press or all the stuff released for this, and so we're also like, it says 8:00. because I think you had gone to a show not that long ago where you said it said 8 or something, and then the opener did about 30, 40 minutes, and then it wasn't until about 9:30 or 10 that the main act actually started. So
yes,
because we had left the little diner we were at maybe just 5 minutes after 8 or something like that. It was just a block or so away from State Theater. Okay. And we got in, and no, they were already at least halfway through the first or second song of the set. So they must have started promptly at 8 o'clock and with no opening act whatsoever. So we missed a little tiny bit of it, but not a whole lot.
Yeah. So like, for example, like tonight, right now, like me and Matt started at 6:30 and
on the dot.
Sean got
very
there
promptly.
A little after.
Yeah,
he missed like 1.5 songs.
No one wants to be the first one to show up at the party. It's called being fashionably late.
I'm always the first one to show up to recording.
There have been times where I was sitting there ready, waiting, but that's neither here nor there. The main point is, the show doesn't start until either both of us, or in this case, all three of us are here. So it's not like I really jumped in before or after the show started.
I mean, the thing is that Scott and I had this entire exact conversation before you came on.
What did you do with my parts?
I prepped him just about,
Scott did your parts.
About you and
Scott
when we
again.
Oh, please.
Yeah, but the show was very cool, and I had gone through and re-listened to most of those albums to lead up to the show just to refamiliarize myself. Mm-hmm. And I really was trying hard to find where the elements were that qualified this as a reimagining of those albums, because I didn't seem to. It seemed pretty spot on with the record or the album versions.
Yes.
So either way,
they didn't. I mean, maybe like the way they put the set together and had like
could be
breaks, but like into the songs, like I feel like they did. I can't say they did them exact, but it was live. But
I mean,
yes.
Well, the thing is, like, King Crimson music is so calculated that it's not something you can just sort of freeform and noodle around with.
Yeah, it's not
very
Fish.
Precise. Yeah, it's not Fish or like
or other jam bands.
No, there's no like improvising. It's
yeah,
which is all the more impressive about that. And like again, it was amazing, but I was like not surprised at how well they played it, because again, it was like that. There's not a bigger tier than those guys.
Yeah, that lineup was pretty cool.
As far as professional monster giant players, just I don't think there's anyone better as far as that level, because they're all veterans,
masters of their craft.
Beyond. Yeah, exactly.
And
Danny Carey being like probably the youngest, I guess, but
the youngest.
Weirdly,
Tool was after those bands, but I mean, for him, he was probably like, I mean, you could tell, right? He was like Tool, like they're influenced by bands like that.
Oh, big time.
And for him being like the youngest one was just amazing. But again, he's himself at this whole stature. So yeah,
I remember when I think it's on 3 of a Perfect Pair, when I first heard the song Frame by Frame, and I heard this sort of riff, which is nearly identical to a riff used in 46 and 2. And I'm like, whoa.
Sure. Yeah.
They totally ripped that off. Like there's no questioning it.
Yeah. Where I'm there's like 2 different time signatures that are going at the same time, and they end up overlapping.
Yeah. And
or like it's like a cycle.
Yeah. I think they call it syncopation, I think, where it comes around to line up and then it goes off again and it comes back. Yeah, I think that's called.
Well, any syncopation is basically just like an offbeat of straight beat.
Look, I'm trying to sound musically smart. We didn't all go to McNally School of Music for bass.
Sure.
Did you go to that school?
Yeah. Well, it was music tech when I went.
I know.
Yeah. Yes. It became McNally Smith after that. But yeah.
Oh, McNally
we all know
Smith.
That.
I even screwed up the new name.
McNally Smith. Yeah. It doesn't matter.
Why not? No, but did you go for anything specific there? It wasn't bass, was it? Like
it was, but I had to take some like gen ed courses and
took home ec
and LX and stuff. Yeah,
yeah, German. It's the music of sewing.
Sure.
Well, because Josh went and he had to take I think he took vocal classes and all sorts of different stuff too.
Is that why he's so good?
I mean,
he's so good. No, yeah. I didn't know what he took there. I just knew he went for a guitar performance.
Yeah.
Which, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of degrees where you can say, well, that's not going to get you anywhere.
Yeah. That's one of them. And like mine too, really. The performance aspect was great. And like, I loved it. I got a lot out of it. And then, you had it was kind of whatever you wanted to do as far as the electives and gen ed classes and stuff like that. And like they didn't have full degree programs. It was like a 2-year thing. So
right.
Yeah, it was performance, but like a lot of people I went with, like, they didn't take full advantage and they kind of just fucked around, and which is fine. But like, I was like, I did that. I moved there for that reason. So I was like, and I quite enjoyed it. So
yeah,
it was all about finishing and like making those connections and stuff like that. So, but yeah.
I mean, I can't speak for Josh, but I don't know that he was necessarily there. It didn't seem like his aim was to make any connections like with anyone. It seemed to be that he just wanted to be able to walk away with that degree, and then he was just going to be a star musician. That's what I think that it seemed like that's what his plan was somehow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But
like you're going to get placed in a job out of music school,
yeah.
Yeah. It's like
put it on your application.
And in a way it is, but it wasn't like that. You kind of had to, obviously it's not that easy, but again, like the connections I made are, still around, and
like us,
they did a lot of cool stuff. Yeah. They're still around. They're not dead
make
yet
that
or anything.
Connection. He didn't connect with us there.
Along. I want to be a part of this so bad.
No, because didn't you? I think you were still going to school at the time, and maybe that's why you didn't do it. But what's his name now?
Ryan?
No, it was a
Josh?
musician that had asked you to play with him, and Mason Jennings
Hagar?
Didn't Mason Jennings ask you to join him at one point?
I never played with Mason Jennings. I did. There was a time when he was looking for a bass player.
Okay.
I did a lot of session work with Ben Bridwell, the Band of Horses guy.
Oh,
that was it.
Okay.
I didn't realize there was so many names.
I remember getting out of college and like Mason Jennings needed a bass player, and someone had recommended me to it. Maybe it was Ryan. Someone had, and I don't think I ever went and auditioned because it was like it was presented to me, and then it was like you got to be ready to go on this like tour.
Yeah,
and like maybe I should have, but yeah.
You were the one musician who was turned off by the idea of a set tour to immediately go on.
No, that's funny.
Travel the country and get exposure? Yeah. No way.
Right. Yeah.
Not for me. I haven't gotten my bass degree yet.
What's my per diem?
Yeah.
Like I got a lot of stuff here I leave behind.
Yeah.
Like
you're looking around.
Like nothing in the fridge. And,
my discipline record.
Yeah,
that framed basketball picture in the background.
Who's gonna look after this stuff?
You're right. I was probably just like I can't lay it down for Mason Jennings, man. I was probably too nervous. Said no.
Or maybe you were just like, I just got my degree. This will be a step back.
Yeah. Who knows what could have happened, right? Yeah.
Mason Jennings doesn't have a degree. I'm going to be the next level of
Seldom Seen's going to be huge.
Well,
that was my thinking.
So I don't know Mason Jennings's history at that time. How big was he?
I think that at that time that was probably his peak. Was right around
locally,
there.
I feel like he would sell at the main room and was like peak. That's a good word.
Yeah, that was kind of the top for him, and then I think he's kind of
locally. He was a big deal.
That's a lazy simile, Matt.
What?
You went from peak to top.
Well, I mean, that's where he, I think that's where he peaked. And then, since then, he kind of just, I haven't actually heard of him in a long time.
I could probably count on one hand the amount of songs I've heard of his and still be able to do some stuff with some fingers.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ladies.
Same.
Ladies. Yes.
Get into trouble with those fingers.
No, the mouth gets me in trouble. The fingers.
Oh, the mouth.
The fingers get me out of trouble. You know what I'm saying? Zoom-a-doop-doop. Anyway.
Officer.
Are you sure I was speeding? Tickle, tickle. Yes. Now you're.
Please step out of the car.
Now you're. And into mine, he says.
All right, and that's all the time we have.
What? Oh,
it's a short episode. Do we have any Thanksgiving things happening with this Thanksgiving episode, or were we just?
I tried to look up some weird story about a turkey.
Okay.
It didn't seem very interesting, so I just stopped reading it, and then I didn't read any more about any more things. I do have a weird random question that doesn't have to do with Thanksgiving.
Okay.
For some reason, this popped in my head recently. Somebody mentioned part of it, but when I used to work at the Home Shopping Channel, there was a guest named Jorge, and he would come on and be the guest to sell the Waterford crystal items, flower vases and stemware and things like that. And one year for Halloween, he was a visual at the time, I think. He later became a producer, but Dave, he shaved his head. Well, so Jorge, I should explain, had a shaved head, these round framed glasses, these very circular, sort of John Lennon-esque glasses with thicker rims. And he always wore like a tuxedo with a bow tie or a suit with a bow tie to come sell his wares. And so this guy, Dave.
His snake oil,
yeah. Hosted by David Spade. That was a show that was on. It was called Snake Oil. It was hosted by David Spade.
Yeah.
Anyway, so a few of us, as some do, Halloween came around and we all worked. So some people showed up in costume, and he showed up dressed as Jorge.
Okay.
He had shaved his head and he wore a suit with a bow tie, and he was carrying a Waterford glass around all day. He had the glasses, and Jorge was doing shows that night. And so he got to see this, and he was very touched. And he said, "Wow, you've really made it when someone dresses up as you for Halloween." And I thought about this because I've dressed up as Matt for Halloween.
Yeah, I made it years ago.
That can't be the real barometer for if you're doing well in life.
No, your friend could dress up as your friend, and it's like, no one's made it.
Right. So
it's kind of like a lazy costume.
Yeah, Sean. What a lazy costume.
Well, Scott,
all that effort he actually put into it.
That's all the time we have.
Yeah. Wait a second. How come you're calling the shots over here?
I'm turning the interview around.
I see. Well, you're doing a great job.
Sorry. Apologies.
Ask what do you call them? Leading questions. Don't ask. Don't ask one answer. Yes or no questions. Instead of saying like, "Were you at the whatever?" Say, "Tell us about the time you were at the whatever."
Got it.
You can tell I've been doing this for a while, eh, Matt?
We don't interview people very often on here.
Yeah, but when we do, I do the hell out of it. Anyway, so I thought about this, and I thought, well, what's the true measure of making it? And I would argue it's not let's just say not even someone dressing up as you at random. Mm-hmm. Let's say you have an official Halloween costume made of you. That could be one thing. But I think even a fewer on this planet have reached the heights of having what's called a chia pet made of you.
Oh.
I would say...
You think that
this small pocket of individuals is anyone who's reached that level has truly made it. Wouldn't you agree?
No.
No, why not?
No.
Go ahead, Matt.
When was the last time a chia pet was sold?
Because chia's been around forever.
Okay, you're asking about when one was sold or when some have been on sale.
When was the last time one was sold?
I don't know, but I saw a Bob Ross. I saw a Bob Ross one at Walgreens today.
Oh, so Bob Ross has finally made it. He has a chia pet.
I don't know how long that one's been around. It doesn't necessarily mean it just came out. It could have a resurgence in popularity. Maybe
they made a chia pet Bob Ross posthumously.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess that's a good point. I wonder how many may have been made posthumously.
I mean, that one it makes sense for him to have one
because they could have. Did they make it? Because they could have made it during his
show.
His popularity.
Is it just the afro part of it that grows, or does the chia part grow off the beard too? Because that'd be kind of cool.
I didn't stop to look at it. But I think it's just his hair on the top of the
So are you sure it was a Bob Ross one if you didn't even stop to look? It could have been any other person.
It said Bob Ross on the box.
Or did it say Rob Boss?
It said Brob Oss. It said dog sauce. It was from China.
But maybe you're right. Maybe Chia waited too long to make a Bob Ross one. They should have done that. And we don't know when they.
I think what happened was Bob Ross.
They're like, oh, we should have done that.
I think
when he was alive.
I'm pretty sure the real story is that Bob Ross turned them down, and then his estate
could have been
once he passed because then they agreed to it because they wanted that sweet cheddar. They wanted that sweet cheddar. Because we've seen this time and time again where an artist is very, like, for example, someone in the music industry is very, they hold their songs close to them. They don't let them being used for commercials and things like that. Then when they pass away and that person's not making decisions anymore, you start hearing their music in a bunch of commercials.
Yeah, because they can't decide how to divvy up the money and they need more.
Well, and they want more of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But don't we all?
I mean... That's why I hope this podcast someday will get us to a point where I'm trying to edge Matt out and I'm trying to get myself on the cover of Time Magazine by myself.
You're trying to edge me what?
I'm trying to edge you.
Off? Yeah. Edge me off this show?
Right after I forgot what that method was where you just insert it and hold still.
Soaking?
Soaking, yeah. Right after I'm done soaking you.
Have you heard of that term, Scott?
I have.
I've done it,
but in the Mormon community.
I didn't jump out there with it because I was thinking of it too, and I was like,
you're supposed to stay in with
it's right there.
Yeah, you're supposed to. Yeah, you're supposed to stay in. Yeah, exactly.
Like, oh yeah,
soaking. It's pretty great.
You have no idea what we're talking about, do you, Scott?
Well, no.
Okay.
But that's all the time we have. So that's just fine.
Well, I don't know. We you know what? We'll go along for you. We'll have an extended episode just for you. How
Scott's
about that?
Just like, I'm soaked right now, you guys, right?
I'm good on time.
I have to pee so bad.
Yeah.
Do you actually?
No, okay. I went before recording. I'm professional. Do you really?
Yeah, but I'm good.
Well, you can go.
I'm gonna hold this.
I have some adult diapers you can pee into from a distance.
I'm good. But
yes, they're the same ones from the night of the show. They've dried up by now. Now. Yeah.
I just dried up thinking about it.
Yeah. Well, does that mean you were moist before?
I was soaking.
Did something else? Oh, I see. I was gross. I was soaking moist.
But yeah, the only thing I wanted to say to you guys about the show, or Sean anyway.
Oh God, the show. Yeah,
Sean took some serious videos.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like he brought in a professional camera and everything.
Mm-hmm. I brought a gimbal.
Nice.
And a Canon or a Sony Red.
Yeah, a tripod there, right there in the aisle.
Yeah, I even brought a backup quadrupod in case the tripod wasn't cutting it, wasn't doing the job.
Some of the people got upset.
Not nearly as stable as a tripod.
You were setting everything up right in front of people, and it's a theater, so But we made it out of there.
I even said, move over, official photographer.
Yeah.
I need to set myself up here because it's a great view. And my tickets are way back there, but I'm just going to park here with my equipment. And so...
Bold.
Yeah, well, it was the only really space inside the men's room to get a good angle on everything that was going on that night. So I caught some real interesting stuff.
Yeah.
I got to put myself at a vantage point that most of the audience didn't get to see,
And we have that.
We have a lot of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm gonna be legit about this. I'm gonna wait to get permission from the members of the band and their management and all that to approve of the use of the footage before I post it publicly. So
right,
it's posted privately in a lot of places already, but I can't do it publicly until they give me the old.
You were just gonna have it running.
It's gonna go on the Patreon.
There's gonna be a fourth. Yeah, and it's just the video.
Trust me, guys.
Like this is cool, right?
Adrian, Steve, Danny. It's behind a paywall right now.
Tony,
you too. Yeah. I'll also include you in these dealings. So,
Tony's always the afterthought.
Tony, poor Tony.
Yeah,
it's Anthony. Sorry, you were on the bill as Tony. What do you want me to do? First impressions, I know someone who still calls Merwins, and they call a gurney a Guernsey.
A Guernsey?
You don't.
What do you think?
You don't
I really
know
do,
people
actually. I really do.
That calls it Merwins?
Huh.
Yep.
Mervyn's isn't even a company anymore.
I know, but they still call it Merwins to this day.
Who is this moron?
I'm not gonna tell you.
It's a family member.
It's not. But I'll tell you later.
Wow, so secretive. We could just reveal it here, and then I could bleep the audio.
Yeah, you're not going to. You're not going to.
I would. I've bleeped stuff out of respect for you before.
Sure.
I used to respect you. I used to respect him.
Yeah, I'll cut this out later, and you're like, okay, and then he doesn't. Has that ever happened?
No.
Yeah.
What?
Well, Matt.
That's hilarious.
Name one thing. Name one thing that you've wanted me to cut that I haven't.
Well, I wouldn't say it's anything that I've specifically asked you to cut, but you've plenty of times had a throwaway comment like, "Oh, I'm going to cut that out," and then you don't.
Oh yeah, I just make the joke that I'm going to cut it, and I don't. I obviously don't. Yeah.
So that history. I have to go off of history repeats itself, and so I can't trust that you would.
There's a previous episode where I guess you didn't, but I revealed something that you didn't want me to reveal, and I asked if you wanted it bleeped out, and you said yes, and I bleeped it out. I kept it in, but bleeped it out.
So what was it?
It was about. I can say this without giving any details, but it was about a stand-up routine idea that you had.
Oh, I don't remember that.
You don't remember your stand-up routine idea, or that we talked about it?
That we talked about it.
Okay, yeah, we did, and I bleeped it out.
Okay, couldn't tell you. I don't remember that happening. So I don't know what episode that might have been.
I couldn't tell you what episode it was either, but I remember doing it.
There certainly wasn't anything I came across when assembling the great episode 200 quiz.
Yeah, I think it was famous. I think it was pre 100. Yeah, pre 101. Okay. Maybe.
Well, maybe. So, Scott, how do you feel like being on an episode where the number is the same forward as it is backwards?
Wow, 202. Honestly, this is the first time I ever noticed that.
Yeah.
What was 101?
101 was also the same forward as it is.
Is that the only other one? 99, I guess.
Episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 11, 22.
Yeah. There's really a lot of them.
Yeah, it's been quite a few.
How many numbers do you need? I feel like it's got to be 3 numbers to do
three or more
before it becomes significant enough.
101, 111, 121, 131, 141, 151, 161, 171, 181, 191.
2 is not enough. That's kind of boring.
Yeah, 1 definitely doesn't qualify. That's just cheating. That's just not fair.
This is only one lonely number.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it happens it'll happen often.
202 is good.
Like maybe you should have me on 10 episodes.
204 is the area code of Manitoba where I grew up. So maybe you should have me on that one. I guess there's still time.
We can postpone this one and push it out.
Yeah, we could.
I like 202 better.
We can push it out a few weeks and have you come out on 204 if you really want. We can do that.
If it had been 204, that would have been really just a coincidence.
Or should we wait till
it's not to be, so that's fine.
If you want to take a trip to New York and we can record episode 212.
Well, no. If you want, we can wait until we get to your full phone number and have that be the episode.
There you go.
Comes out on. I don't know how many digits a Canadian phone number has, but
well, you might be dead. Yeah, you might have to put the.
I'll have to remember the one I had.
What is it?
Could be
usually +1 blah blah blah.
Could be a million more
long
episodes.
10-digit thing.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a
whatever the region. What is that? Country code or whatever you have to put in when you're calling.
Yeah. Which we're good on the one here in North America.
Yeah. Thankfully, because we're number one, USA.
And we probably, I'm sure we invented it.
The number one.
Well, we invented the
country code.
The country code system.
Well, we invented telephones.
Well, did we?
Was Bell American? I don't know.
I think Bell was Canadian, honestly. Maybe look it up.
Stop. Oh, well, that's all the time we have.
Sean, we also had a couple cocktails that
short
night.
Little episodes.
And I think it was the first time we've ever had a drink together.
It was, yeah.
I would say 100% it is.
I want to talk about that too because
I was definitely a non-drinker back when we used to hang out. And the last time I saw you before that night was actually, it was at a concert. But it was at Fiona Apple at the O'Shaughnessy.
Yeah. Yes.
I may have had a drink or two there, but you and I were not together at that show. We bumped into each other at some point.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
you guys were.
We'd broken up.
No, the funny thing is
some stuff.
Yeah.
The funny thing is,
it was complicated.
Scott had wanted to get up and get a couple more drinks, and so a song was just about to end. He's like, "Hey, after the song, I'm about to go run to the bar to get a couple more drinks. Do you want anything?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, you can get me one." And the song ends, and he gets up and he books it out of there, and he's practically running to the bar. As you
do,
Yeah. Well, you don't want to miss the next song, but 30 seconds after that, the band is like, "All right, we'll see you guys in 20 minutes."
Yes, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I got up thinking it was just a song break, Matt, and then
they had an intermission.
So they only played about 45 minutes, and then they took a break. So I ended up getting right in line as everyone was filing down.
He was actually, it worked out.
It did work out quite well.
Yeah. Yeah, it was perfect.
Yeah, but the point is, you probably could have.
How do you know?
You probably could have walked at a leisurely pace. He must follow the band.
You're right.
He must have seen a few shows on this tour already.
He's been going to all the shows.
Yeah, that's funny.
It was funny.
That was a weird coincidence.
He gets up, just flies out of there, and then they're like, "All right." I'm like, "Oh, that's pretty funny."
Yeah.
So then, I got up because I was going to try to find him, and by the time I sort of got out to where the crowd was, he was already sitting back down in the seats. He's like, "Hey, I'm back at the seat." Yes. I'm like, "Oh, okay." I just went to try to find you.
So I believe I texted you. I was like, "Sean," because that's how fast I got back.
Yeah, it was quick.
I was going down the stairs when they said, we're gonna take a little break, and then when they came back, that's when they did a big long set, right?
Yeah.
And so I couldn't believe it because that honestly never happens to me where I'd just guessed. I was like, the song ended, drinks now so that I can get him back here, get going, not miss any more show. And it was the perfect drink.
Which,
situation.
Was a ballsy move considering we already missed the first 10 minutes of the set already. And you were willing to risk possibly missing a few seconds of yet another song.
Well, you were taking full-length video of every song, so really...
That's an exaggeration, but... I was not doing that.
In 4K.
I don't think... No.
On a high-speed camera.
They do look pretty good. You zoomed in a little bit there. I watched a couple today just to kind of get refreshed. And
oh, did you? Yeah. Okay.
They're just hanging out there in
That's right.
cloud. Kind of spinning, but I can watch them. I just haven't really saved any. Because, you took these some of them are 7 minutes long. I'm sure they're just like massive files.
I'm like, yeah, I don't know why. I think it's because my memory sucks so bad that I'm like, I got to capture every moment so I never forget. And
no, it's great. It's great. Some people do that. And like, honestly, in a theater, like fucking A, like go for it.
Yeah, but also
some people get crazy with it, like in like small crowds. And it's just like, you know, if I do that, then like, I'm just going to like be looking at my phone and like do that. And I like to get a couple of little snapshots, you know, and then
I've thought of that too, because I'm like, am I actually just enjoying the show, or am I just like making sure, this is still in the shot? Okay. And then I'll look down. Like, then you have to glance up at your phone. I tilted up a little bit by accident. Let me fix that. I remember one time someone at a concert, I was holding my phone high up in the air, filming a bit of a concert, and someone was like, just enjoy it, man. Just be here. Just put your phone down and enjoy the show.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. But
leave me alone, Dad.
It's nice to get your, just, you know,
you're not a real dad.
Whatever. But whatever you want to do, like, I'm not gonna, if someone's taking a video like that, like at like a, you know, a stand up smaller show, then, you know, I'll just like not stand behind that person, I guess.
Speaking of you standing, Matt, I forgot how tall this guy is. I don't even go up to his shoulder, I don't think.
Well, you're such a tiny guy.
Well, I forgot how short you were, Sean.
Yeah, Sean's a real tiny guy.
No, you're tall. You're really tall. That's the thing. That's the weird thing. I'm not.
Sean is like very close to being able to get a placard. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's so short he can get a handicap.
Well, Sean the Leprechaun.
Placard. He's a really tiny guy.
Just because
I'm creating show lore. Sean's very small. That's why he lived in such a tiny basement for so long.
I know. But I mean, I don't know what to do with all this space now. The ceiling,
8 foot ceilings. Jeez,
8 foot ceilings. There could be 3 of me in this room, standing on end. Yeah, we could perform a circus act. We're so tiny. People would come around for miles.
At least if you can't laugh at
3
yourself.
3 Seans in a trench coat.
3 Seans in a trench coat. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. We're pretending to be Boss Baby.
Pretending to be a normal sized guy.
The code and it's like 3 Seans. Oh man, that's gonna enter my dreams at some point.
Like all 3 of us are flashing.
I thought I was soaking before.
You're all soaking.
Woo! What?
It's a full marsh happening right now. Wildlife and all.
Like a thicket.
Yeah,
it's like a wildlife reserve going on in my pants.
Yeah.
Yep. It's a lot of humidity.
Yeah. Oh, it's dense.
A lot of dense, thick humidity.
Yeah. Lots of amphibians.
The bugs are out.
Yeah,
and they are hungry.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I was watching this show. Speaking of bugs, I was watching this show, and this woman I think she was from Kentucky. She said something like, this thing, this and this happened. It made me madder than a mosquito in a mannequin factory.
I've never heard that one.
I kind of like that.
I like little weird sayings like that.
Oh, because the mosquitoes think that
they can't. They're thinking they can get some fresh blood out of those mannequins.
That took me way too long.
Welcome to the conversation.
Canadian. Canada.
I think it was only a couple seconds, but up here it felt like
we don't have mosquitoes in Canada, so it just didn't add up.
Oh,
yeah, because you're higher up in the in the atmosphere, and so time goes slower for you.
That makes sense. That must be it.
Yeah. So be it. Sorbet it. Well, Matt, what questions do you have for Scott?
I was more attentive with my friendship with Scott when we would hang out, so I already know everything about him. There's nothing left for me to ask. I thought you meant while we hung out, I cared about Scott, and now that we don't. No, I don't. I took the time to learn everything about him at that point.
Okay.
Yeah.
So so tell me about Scott. What are some facts that I missed at the beginning that you know about him?
Well, one thing you did say in your little
I don't want you to read off things that I said.
No, I was saying something you got wrong.
The jumping off part.
Yeah, something you got wrong when you said that he had formed the band Seldom Seen with some friends, and then you said he formed some mates. Sorry,
Canada.
Yeah, and then you said he formed the second band Speed's the Name. Scott did not form the band Speed's the Name. Scott joined the band Speed's the Name.
That's true. It's very true.
Okay, fine. He reformed the band because it changed form when he joined.
I was invited to be in a new formation of it with the drummer, right? So Andrew Thornborough, but yeah, you're right. When you said I formed it, I was like, that's definitely not the right word, Sean.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Sure, you botched it, dude.
Of all the fallacies
Get your
on
facts
that list,
checked.
That's the one that's the most heinous. How dare you say he formed Speed's the Name? He was not a founding member.
Everything else, spot on. That really pissed me off.
I did attend a lot of early Speed's the Name shows. Before I was a member.
I would say
I was always like I was too busy to like, and they had their own band, but then it was one of those things. Like I think we talked about this before, where it was just kind of meant to be for the moment,
I thought, Scott, that Ryan guy, he thinks he's so big. He's just he's just so pompous and full of himself. I'm not going to go to any of his shows. So I never saw a Speed's the Name show,
right?
With or without Scott in it.
Right, you didn't.
Nope, I'm a diehard. I'm a diehard Seldom Seen stan. That's where I draw the line.
Yeah.
Scott, I told you this. I mean, I don't know if I ever said this to you or not, but I was legit. I even asked him, I think, if it was okay if I would have sent their CD like into the Conan O'Brien show to try to get
you told me about that.
On here, I don't know. We'll see.
If we want play it on here?
If it was no. If I said it on here.
Oh, on here, show. I don't know if you said it.
I might have told you.
You've told me in private during one of our, little sessions.
Yeah. Soaking, edging behind the paywall. That stuff's behind the paywall.
Edging behind the paywall is a weird.
It is
thing to say.
It's one of those sort of changing screens where you can see the silhouette of what's going on behind it.
Yeah.
Very, very, very provocative.
Yeah.
Erotic.
Yep. Yeah. That at one point you're like, I thought there was only two people back there, but then there's all of a sudden there's this third mass. And it's
it just pops out.
And then you're like, whoa, it's raining suddenly? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
There was some payoff behind the paywall.
It's raining where the sun don't shine. Yeah. Yep.
I guess it only rains when the sun does. Well, not always.
Yeah, no, there's sun showers.
Sometimes there's. Is there anything more?
That sounds like a sexual thing, but it's not.
I love a sun shower.
Who's into sun showers?
They're awesome.
Email me.
Sun squirt.
Yeah, a little sun mist.
It almost sounds like a refreshing soda.
Yeah.
Oh, give me a nice
squirt,
glass of
sun squirt.
Wow, can I get a 20-ounce bottle of Sun Squirt?
I'm not a big fan of the
it's just Sunkist and Squirt.
The soda.
No?
Yeah.
What about the isn't there one where it's grapefruit? No, is there?
I believe that is what Squirt is.
Okay, well there's another
but either
flavor.
way, I don't really care for Squirt. It's weird because it's a weirdly like
it's like 7-Up or Stars.
It's such a milky looking soda.
Starry, yeah. No, well, Sierra Mist.
What was the point of that rebranding?
Made. What's up?
What was the point of that rebranding? The Sierra Mist Starry rebranding? Like, who cares?
I forget.
I don't
like. This needs to appeal more to kids.
I care so little that I didn't know that was a rebranding. I thought it was just that Sierra Mist didn't make it, and Starry was a new emerging lemon lime soda. How many of those do there need to be? We've already got 7-Up and we've already got Sprite. How many more?
They've been doing fine.
Yeah, they don't need any competition. Mm-hmm. You're not going to stand a chance.
Like
Starry's
Sierra Mist was fine. Whatever.
Yeah, so Starry. I like it. Is Mellow Yellow in that camp too, or is
Mellow
that
Yellow
else?
Is a Mountain Dew competitor.
But I think Mellow Yellow was very different. Longer, right?
Mellow Yellow has been around longer, I believe. But that's
is it still around?
Mountain Dew.
I don't see it.
Mellow Yellow is. Yeah.
Mountain Dew's like its closest thing.
I guess I don't really look for sodas.
What I even saw recently?
Had soda in almost a year.
If you ever visit, Scott, you'll appreciate the name of the store a lot because considering where you're from, it's called Super USA. You can
it's
still
where you
find
can either buy USA or soup.
Soup or USA, exactly.
Like, what do you got here?
Well, it's either some.
Isn't those like is Super USA like like the smaller, like, it's not Super America because that's Speedway now, but I've seen Super USA's around and there's a few of them and they're really small.
They just appear to be sort of convenience stores that don't have a gas station. They're not.
That's right. Okay.
So like a 7-Eleven.
It's like, they kind of describe them in that way.
Got it.
Or a Circle K.
Got it.
Yes. Well, that is, that's what, I guess that's the convenience store inside Holidays, technically, is called Circle K.
Oh, well, out here in Chicago, 7-Elevens and Circle Ks are just convenience stores.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're just, standalones.
Got it. Okay. But you can still find RC Cola in a Super USA.
You can still find RC Cola at a grocery store.
Really? I never knew that.
I guess I don't look.
But again,
for those.
I never really looked for it, so I probably would have missed it if I was like looking for.
Yeah, I'm still a horrible.
What about Surge?
Surge is long gone.
That made a comeback and then it went away again.
I think it's one of those things where every once in a while they're just like, "Hey, we're just gonna put out a few cases of this soda for nostalgia's sake."
We're not making more. This is from the original
It was just
production.
old stuff they couldn't sell, and they just rebranded it.
It's in the warehouse full of forgotten goods.
I know. I wish they would. I wish they would come out with OK Soda again. I would love that.
Yeah, I don't remember if I ever drank any of that. I remember it being around.
I got a lot of it. I drank a lot of it.
Man, if you would have had any foresight into knowing that was going to go away and just holding on to a few cases of it just for the heck of it, I wonder if you can go on you can probably find some on eBay or something.
I think you can find some.
Not that you'd want to drink it.
No. But I think you can at least,
because it's like 30 years. It's like 30-year-old soda at this point.
Yeah. Right after I write a suicide note and set it on the table, then I'll open up a can of OK Soda. And, that's how I'll end it.
I don't know if you'd have to write a suicide note, just like a last will and testament, and just saying, if I die, this is why. I'm not attempting to kill myself, but if I do happen to die because of this.
No, my suicide
my
suicide note will say, my life was never good. It was just okay.
God, it's too short of an episode to end on that. That would have been a good ender.
Why?
I don't know.
We're at 58.
It was a good little button.
58 minutes
it had
of
this? It was a nice little button. It was a nice little button moment that would have worked.
Just reposition
it at the
end.
Yeah. Just add it back in. Add it again.
Don't end the episode on suicide.
There's not really much to do after that.
Yeah. That's a good word. That's a good place to end too.
You can't go on after that.
Yeah.
So, you guys carry on without me, I guess.
Yeah.
Then wait, now what? Now Matt's going to be on the cover of Time magazine without me.
Yeah, it's THYME magazine.
It's all about spices.
Yeah, it's just
specifically
everywhere.
Time.
Yeah, it's only about.
It's
time.
it's more of a leaflet.
Not just Time, other herbs and spices.
What do you think this is? Cumin magazine?
Oh, get out of here with that shit.
Gross. It's all red.
Like when you enter the wine shop. You got any beer? No, get out.
Yeah.
It says wine shop.
It says wine and spirits.
Got any liquor? No.
No.
Yeah, you see the word spirits up there?
We only sell wine.
Yeah.
Let's stomp on some grapes in the back.
Not all wine is French.
Not all wine is from humans stomping on grapes in a wood
Also
tub.
True. Just the best
That's
kind.
the good stuff, though.
Yeah.
However, all champagne is French.
Great. It's a French word. Champagne.
Because all champagne...
As Christopher Walken would call it.
Yeah, to classify as champagne, it has to have been, at some point, stayed in the city of Champagne.
At some point.
Yeah,
It gets sent.
I don't know if it has to be
made in America. They ship it off to France for a week and send it back, and now it's champagne.
I'm not sure the exact classifications, but at some point it has to, something about the process has to take place in Champagne for it to be considered champagne.
Maybe it's like a Swiss made watch means that 51% of the parts have to be from Switzerland, and I think it has to be assembled in Switzerland, but there could be plenty of parts that are not from Switzerland.
Okay. Well, is that like a Swiss Army knife too, or like a?
I don't know. I didn't look into that.
Like Kleenex is a brand, but you know it's a tissue.
It's a tissue, exactly.
Every other champagne you call it, but people just call it champagne, but it's sparkling wine.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, who cares?
You know,
right? Oh, exactly.
It's all bullshit. No matter how many variations of that question you ask, I'm still not going to know the answer.
Yeah.
Because I didn't sit through hours of people selling Swiss Army knives on TV, but Swiss-made watches I sure did.
That's true, you did.
Yeah.
It's really interesting when you pull weird random facts out and then you realize like that specific thing of like, this is why I know that.
Yeah.
Because I sat through all this weird shit, but it's just, like I don't know where I don't remember where I found that champagne fact out at, or like heard it from somewhere. But it's just one of those things that I haven't thought about that in years. You know, I don't look at my mom's back.
Wow.
What?
Oh
I don't look at my mom's back. I always look her right in the eyes.
When she's edging you?
Dude, what the fuck?
Dude, not like that.
That's all the time we have.
No.
For this episode of High School Famous 202.
No, Matt,
it's been really nice having me back.
What kind of? Okay, explain to me. What did you mean by my mom edging me?
So this is now. I talked to her about this. This is what she would use to describe when she would be telling you a very riveting story at night before you go to bed, and it always kept you on the edge of your seat. This is before the term edging was turned into a sexual thing. She's actually very opposed to that use of the word.
Okay.
When describing interactions with you and your siblings, of course.
Moms don't know what edging means.
Yeah, I doubt
choosy
my mom
moms
knows.
do.
No, choosy moms choose Jeff.
Yeah, and that's the best thing to edge with. That's Jeff's new slogan.
Best.
Just most efficient.
Chunky or creamy?
It depends on how.
Can it be both?
It depends on your diet.
Yeah. Sorry. No.
Sorry.
If you are you talking about ejaculate now? If it's chunky, I think you're dehydrated.
I know. That's why I've got my bottle of water here today.
Yeah.
Doctor's orders. I gave him a sample, and they're like, "Whoa!"
Filled the whole cup like a good boy.
To make it testable.
How many glasses of chunky do you drink a day? Well, not enough.
Yeah, clearly. I can still move my joints. I'm not completely stationary yet. So, yeah. I plan to appear as a mannequin to piss off all the mosquitoes. I'll trick them into thinking I'm a fake boy.
Yeah, that'll show them.
Yeah.
Mosquitoes have been having it good for too long.
Yeah.
Sean's in the mannequin store, like seeing if the mosquitoes know that he's real.
Well, yeah, that's
you gotta have all of a sudden they all start like they're like, damn it, they know.
Yeah, Sean's
like,
the control.
What about that person over there?
I'm not. No, the mannequins are the control. I'm the variable.
Yeah, but like
I'm the non-mannequin.
Yeah, but you're the thing that they would want to go for.
You're trying to fake out the mosquitoes.
But the mannequins are what they can't get blood off of, and they probably wouldn't be attracted to. And especially if a human was in their presence. I'm trying to find out if I'm in the presence of other mannequins, can I be still enough to trick them into thinking I'm also a mannequin and they don't come after me? So therefore, the mannequins are the control.
I think you need to find out for sure. I would like to see that. It's like a dark.
I mean, would you actually want to see that?
1,000 mannequins, and you're just in the middle, and the kind of camera's like just panning across all these, and then all of a sudden it passes you.
They would have to do the thing where they circle and have a giant arrow flashing, pointing down at my head, just to let the audience know that this is the real guy.
Like what to look out for. Yeah,
it's like that episode in that scene in iRobot when he's hiding amongst all the other robots. And the cameras, then they're trying to find him, and then they do. I think I don't remember.
Is that an E.T. as well, where he's amongst the stuffed
he's
animals?
hiding amongst the stuffed animals.
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
It's like any page in a Where's Waldo book.
Right.
Waldo decides to hold perfectly still.
Mm-hmm.
Just like all the other characters in those pages.
It's crazy.
It's like, where's Waldo? He's the one walking across the
he's the one moving.
He's the he's already left the page.
Or everyone else is moving.
It's a timed
only Waldo's
challenge.
Standing still. It's like, well, he's right there.
Yeah.
He's the only one.
Everyone
not
else
moving.
is moving.
Yeah.
No, but you have to find Waldo before he leaves the page and goes to the next page.
I just want to take
the digital version.
I want to make a pop-up book version of Where's Waldo. So anytime you open the page, Waldo pops up, and you're just like, oh fuck.
I want to make a pop-up soaking book.
No, that doesn't. You can't do that.
Hey Scott, did you know? Did you know at one point I successfully posed as a mannequin, and someone didn't know that I was there?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
but he was covered in mosquitoes.
Swarms.
Yeah,
swarms.
Multiple swarms.
When did that happen, or where?
I was at a friend of mine. Her name is Amber. I was at her house hanging out, and she could be described as quirky. And she had a mannequin in her room with like an outfit on. And so another friend of hers and mine at the time too, loosely, I guess, was about to come over. And so I said, I'm going to put on the mannequin's clothes. You chuck the mannequin in your closet and I will stand in the position of the mannequin and see if she'll notice.
How many hours later did they go into the room where you were? Was it several?
I soaked through a lot of diapers. I was crying. My joints were so stiff. I was like, oil can. And Matt didn't get the reference because he didn't burst into laughter. He didn't burst into laughter from that.
But sorry, so
I'd like to
notice.
I'd like to call out the fact that Scott also didn't laugh at your stupid joke.
He did too.
No.
I didn't.
He either laughed at that joke or he was in the middle of.
But I didn't laugh.
Yeah,
the Tin Man
it wasn't funny.
Okay, he either laughed at that or he was in the middle of still laughing from the previous joke I made about the diapers.
I was still laughing from the previous joke.
Yeah, there you go.
But then it carried over into I knew what you were talking about. I just didn't start my laugh again.
Got it. Okay, because, I thought there was
because it would have been disingenuous.
I thought there was a distinct break in the laughter.
No.
Okay, so
no.
Well, sorry. I thought it was like a glitch. It must have been a bandwidth problem. Must have been.
No.
No, it was maybe a good 15, 20 minutes. I was standing there and they were just gabbing about whatever. And then I eventually sort of did the whole jump out, and she freaked out, and it was pretty awesome. And I thought, man, why did they start talking about me and how sexy they thought I was?
For one, it wouldn't have been real.
You think that?
For one, not true. For two, the one person knew you were being the mannequin.
No, I know, but the other one could have been like, oh my gosh, have you talked to Sean lately? Oh, his eyes. They're so dreamy. I get lost in them.
I have more questions actually because
he weirdly looks a lot like your mannequin.
Yeah,
I'll practice kissing. I'll practice making out with
person know you? Did they know your friend had the mannequin already, or had they never been to the house and they were giving a tour? And they're like, that's my mannequin, or
no. She this friend had been over several times, and the mannequin was, a staple in the room. Okay. It was.
So they just thought there was a new mannequin that looked like you.
They thought nothing of it. Yeah.
They're like, when did you add that boner to the mannequin?
Yeah.
I've never seen that boner on that mannequin before.
Why is it moving?
I shall practice giving blowjobs to it. Okay.
Some disembodied voice goes, it
depends
on what you say.
What?
Yeah.
Change my oil.
Yeah, your boner's talking, saying oil.
Yeah. Oil change. Oil change.
Oil change.
Yeah.
Oil change.
Needs lube.
She's like, well, where do I put the filter?
Yeah. No filter.
Around back.
Yeah. What?
then she's like, let me show you what I like to do with my fingers when I'm doing this.
Wait, so hold on. Now she's trying to perform like an actual vehicle oil change on a mannequin? And she's changing out the oil filter and rotating the tires and all that? Mm-hmm. She's topping off all the fluids and ladies.
She's really dumb. She has no idea what she's doing.
She still thinks I'm a mannequin to this day. Oh, man, I was so excited when you started moving. Yeah, I've never seen a mannequin do that before. Still. Or since.
She's like, it's like the movie Frosty the Snowman. Yeah. He comes to life when you put a hat on him. This one comes to life when you blow it.
Yeah. Ladies. Checks out.
That one works.
That's not a flagrant misuse of the term ladies.
No. That one works.
Okay, good.
That one checked off all the boxes.
All their boxes. Ladies.
Yeah, we really had a different... this is how you end all your shows?
We're not done yet.
Yeah. Well, we're out of time. That's all the time we have.
That's all the time we
have. Well, I mean, we could. Yeah, we couldn't know. It's not going to get any better than that. We peaked. We've climaxed at that.
Yeah, moment. We've reached the Mason Jennings of this episode. And we peaked in the early 2000s.
Nice callback.
Yeah.
You're a pro, sir.
Yeah.
All right. Well, see you next,
ladies.
Thank you, guys.
Oh, you should be thanking us. Yeah, that's appropriate.
Yeah. Oh, and thanks for joining us on this Happy Thanksgiving episode.
Thanksgiving.
Happy American Thanksgiving.
Now, Scott, he already had his Thanksgiving in October.
That's true. Yep.
We can wish him a belated. I wished him a proper Happy Thanksgiving on the day. You can wish him a very, very belated Happy Thanksgiving if you'd like.
Nope, I'd rather not. It wouldn't be very genuine. I feel forced into it at this point.
Yeah.
So
I appreciate that. Actually.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Honestly,
much like a lot of your sexual encounters.
I'm thankful for that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Hey, ho!
I see what you did.
Beep boop bow. Nicely done. It's been a long day.
Wait, what? Did you just nicely done yourself?
No, I was nicely dunning Scott.
I thought you were nicely dunning your beep boop boop.
Yeah,
which I'm like, that's not
cool, anyway, dude.
Cool. Skibbity bap. Wow. Ciao. All right. Well, see you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Bye.
Bye.
If you have a question, complaint, or threat for Sean or Matt, you can reach us on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, X, or Instagram at hsfamouspod, or you can email the show at highschoolfamous@gmail.com. No animals were pleasured during the making of this podcast, despite our best efforts. All hail our Lord and Savior.
It's like that episode that scene in iRobot when he's hiding amongst all the other robots, and the cameras, then they're trying to find him, and then they do, I think. I don't remember.